President Biden is set to address the nation on the state of the economy within the hour. The Dow Jones is down more than 4,000 points since the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, gas prices have hit an all-time high, and analysts say that's adding to already crushing inflation. So let's bring in ABC News financial contributor Alexis Christoforous along with ABC's Kenneth Moton in Washington for more on all of this. Alexis, what do you make of what's happening in the markets over the past few days?
It has really been pretty stunning to watch the speed at which stocks have been coming down. I mean, we're a little bit higher today, but a lot of people are saying this is just sort of a fake bounce. Investors are just looking for some bargains, and so they're pushing stocks higher. The main cause for the drop is that there is talk about a recession on Wall Street. Investors believe that the Federal Reserve is not going to be able to achieve that soft landing they're looking for. You know, they're raising interest rates to kind of bring down demand, bring inflation lower. But investors believe that those rates are going to go up so aggressively, so fast, that it's going to pull the economy back so much that we'll tip ourselves into a recession. And I think Wall Street's starting to jockey position here as they look out to a recession at some point in 2023.
Now, Kenneth, what more can the Biden administration do to try to help the economy? What do you expect to hear from the president on that today?
Well, Diane, President Biden will talk about what he plans to do, but he's also going to talk about what he has done, lowering the price of internet, tapping into the strategic petroleum reserve to lower gas prices, executive action to fix a so-called family glitch in the Affordable Care Act, freezing student loan payments for students until August. No doubt action is key here, Diane, but it's also about messaging for this president and the White House. So you're going to hear the president talk a lot about his plan to fight inflation and what he's doing to lower those rising costs for American families, and contrast that with congressional Republicans and what their plans are. A White House official telling us that the president will label the Republicans and their plans as ultra MAGA, which really shows how Trump continues to loom over. It's a line of attack we heard from the president last week, Diane, but apparently that was an appetizer because we're going to hear a lot more of it.
Now, Alexis, we're also awaiting the new Consumer Price Index report. It's expected to show that inflation peaked in March. So what would that mean?
Right. So that CPI report is due out tomorrow morning. And the fact that President Biden is speaking today about inflation and highlighting what he's doing to help bring prices down doesn't bode well for tomorrow's report. It's as if the Biden administration is trying to get ahead of it. So we're not expecting great news. What we're hoping to see is that inflation has, as you say, peaked, which would mean it will stay at elevated levels, but it's not coming down. And it's also not going up anymore. So sort of stable inflation, if you will, but that's still not great news for Americans or for this president, since prices are up 8.5% over the past year, now their highest level in more than 4 decades.
And Kenneth, the White House official says that Biden will also call out Republicans for criticizing his moves to fight inflation without giving a plan of their own. But Republicans did warn about inflation and were largely dismissed by Democrats. So how precarious is this topic for the president and the Democrats in general going into midterm elections?
Diane, President Biden and the Democrats are vulnerable here when it comes to the economy and inflation. Our recent polls show that most Americans believe that it's the Republicans who can tackle the economy and inflation here. You know, today we expect the president to really zero in on the Republicans and their plans as well, and really fine-tune his midterm message here with this speech. We also know that when it comes to who they're attacking, Rick Scott's tax plan has really been highlighted by this White House as they focused on that. Scott says he's trying to cut taxes here, but President Biden, you're going to hear him say that Scott's plan will raise taxes for about 75 million Americans. Even Mitch McConnell has criticized that Scott plan. Biden will also continue to brand rising prices as Putin's price hike. A lot is at stake in November, and President Biden knows that his agenda is on the line, Diane.
And so, Alexis, what are you looking out for as we sort of enter the rest of the week? The markets are about flat right now after huge declines over the last few days. What are you keeping your eye on?
I'm keeping my eye on what President Biden's saying and what the Federal Reserve is doing. I think, you know, investors are sort of having these knee-jerk reactions every time we have a press conference, every time the Fed comes out and speaks. They're looking at what they're saying and trying to understand the direction of interest rates and the direction of the economy. You know, President Biden, as Kenneth was just talking about, keeps calling it the Putin price hike. But the fact of the matter is that's a little misleading, because other reasons why we're having these large price hikes, supply chains are still disrupted. China now locking down down again in a large way because of rising COVID cases there. And remember, we have a labor shortage in this country. So all of those things, of course, together with the ongoing war in Ukraine, continuing to push prices up. And there's very little this administration can do to stop it.
All right. Alexis Christoforous, Kenneth Moton for us in D.C. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.